Hello everybody, back for round two. So, we left earlier and I had been busy making quite a few mistakes, as I seem to be prone to do at the moment. But we've done some dog things and we ate lots of my food. Deliberately, I did let them. And I've ate, I've got a drink, I've got my stuff, I think. I've got my sticks. So I'm just counting them. My scissors, my pokey stick, my pointy stick, and I decanted the pins into a tin that when you close the lid, it does tend to stay closed. So that should the dogs do dog things, that the pins will be, well, inside a tin and not on the floor. So we have some pins, and I've got a couple in the lid that need to come out of the lid because, well, they're in an annoying position and that's just not where I need them. And it doesn't help that the lid is also of a metal that is attracted to magnets. Right. So, I've got a big tin. Well, it's not a very big tin, but I've got a tin with both lots of pins in, and it actually looks kind of empty. Ooh, there's a couple of extra pins there sticking out. There we go. Before I bend them. Any more? For any more? No, that looks to be all of them. So I've now got a tin. I bought tin specifically to house said pins. So, I guess it's time to get going. So let's have a look at where we're at. So let's dig through my pile of hidey cloths. This is where we're at. So earlier we did the rose ground, we did this bit of cloth stitch, the ground stitch, and this bit of cloth stitch. And this bit of cloth, this bit of cloth stitch. Now, I will make a tiny confession. When taking the picture to go on the thumbnail for the video, I did spot a missing pin. But I defended myself on the ground that the only thing was missing was the pin. I'd obviously inadvertently managed to pull it out. So I have put back the missing pin and all is well. Just for sanity and fairness, the pin of missing, she says, changing to the right thing. And we shall zoom in, and we need to move up a bit, and we shall zoom in. Actually, let's zoom in maximum and move around a little bit. So, for clarity, the pin that I have fitted was this one at the bottom of this rose ground. I was like, oh crap, I've got to go all the way back to there. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And then I realised that there was nothing wrong with the rose ground. I just didn't have a pin in it. So, in all fairness to my good self, I have not cheated. I did not do it off camera. It just was missing a pin. So, don't feel that counts. Feeling kind of safe with that. I've not broken my promise to myself. So, next up, we need to package up all of these bobbins into piles of bobbins. So, I'm going to 1, 2, 3. The dog's looking for a chip she thinks she's missed. I had fish and chips for tea. So if you hear rustlings, she's probably hunting for half a sniff of a chip that doesn't exist. But she's going to look for it anyway. So, one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get to go in the next one. Stickety, stick, stick, stick. Poke you around there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4's fine. We can live with 4. We can definitely live with 4. So we put you in a stick, and you can go around here. You then come off here and go around here. You come off here. And you get unattached from there, and you, my friend, at the wrong side of that. go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an extra one. That's why this looks funny. One of you is not right. 1, 2. You need to go back underneath. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. So one of you is not meant to be here. Which one? I'm thinking it's you. I think you need to come out from under there. Out, out, out. Not convinced. Let's undo this packet and let's try and sort some of these out, because somehow they seem really, really tangled considering they've all been in a stick. Right, let's so. You're a pair, you're a pair. You seem to come underneath everybody, so you're a pair. And you're a pair. Leaving the 4 of you tangled as tangled can be. You're one. You're across the lot with these 2. So let's have a look. Untangle you, and of course I'm twisting it around the wrong way. You then come over, so it's you 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put you back in the stick. Stickity stick, stick, stick. And scoot you up there, pushing you down a bit more just to, well, not quite that much maybe. You get to come out of there. We will need you in a minute because we're going to start working down with some of you. Need to take the jumper off again. I know what I haven't done. Oh, I've forgotten a bit, Doug. I forgot a bit. Hang on. Let's do that before I forget. Check that kicks in. It has. That's a good thing. Okay. So we need you kind of almost immediately. So you we don't need. You. You are crossed. You are now crossed. You are crossed. You're technically crossed, but you don't look it. And you're crossed. So then we need to flip these ones like this. Get that stick out of the way. And check which ones are which, really. So you are coming off rose ground, so you should be in pairs. That's alright then. You're coming up, so you should be in pairs, and you're twisted. So, pinnity pin, pin, pin. Oop, tomato. And why on earth did I have Chihuahua in my mind then? It's because there's a meme going round on, you know, the songs that they've reinvented with new words that are just old songs with new words. And one of them is the Chihuahua thing, so. In fact, there's quite a few of them that didn't even change the words that much. So, I don't like if you're crossed enough, I'm going to cross you again anyway. Pinnity pin, pin, pin. See, part of me is sitting there thinking, well, I could have streamed yesterday, because obviously I have plenty of pins on the tomato at the moment. But at the same time, it's So I was just looking closely at that. At the same time, if I had, and then the pins hadn't come today, then I would be really worried that I didn't have enough pins, and there certainly wouldn't be enough necessarily for the weekend. And then if there weren't going to be enough for the weekend, well, what was I going to do? Because, well, it's the weekend, and, you know, prime progress time. Now, obviously, feeling slightly guilty because when we started this, we started, you know, and we stormed through 2 sites really quite quickly. And here we are, we haven't even done half of one, and it's most of a week. So I do feel slightly guilty that we have not made a lot of progress this week. But as long as we continue to make progress, I'm still cool with that, because, you know, progress is progress. And it's not a race, and I want it to be nice. I don't want it to be, you know, ugly or anything. So, and I know no one else is going to see it, but I still want to try. So, obviously, from that point of view, it is slightly important to me that I, you know, that I A, finish it, but B, it doesn't matter if it takes a while. It's not like it's a birthday present or a Christmas present or anything. It is purely for my own use. So, you know, if it takes me 3 years, it takes me 3 years. Oh, God, please not. But, you know, let's hope not. But, hey, so, I don't know. Let's try and strip some of these pins out of the edge. Work them round to a spot at the front. We could definitely take some pins out the back, out of that background section now as well. We are not limited to these, but as you know, I'd rather leave them in longer than take them out too soon. So definitely the most annoying part of Torchon ground is the kind of almost, it's, I know it's not one flip, but it feels like flip pin, flip pin, flip pin, and you just seem to be constantly pinning, and the pinning is definitely the longest portion. I just wish, part of me wishes you could do this without the pins and not have it look kind of crap, because that would be nice. Because then you could really get a bit of steam on, really. Because as you've seen, when you've got no pins to add in, like with the cloth stitch, you can kind of build up a bit of steam, really. Yes. I was going to take a nap before stream because I was falling asleep, but I went and hung out in somebody else's stream because he's really cool, and having a natter and, you know, kind of feeling one with the crowd a little bit. So instead of having a nap, I stayed there and had a natter with them because that was nice. And if when we're done they're still streaming, we shall go say hello, because they're nice. We like nice people. The world needs nice people, and we need more nice people, frankly. There aren't enough of them. We seem to have bred some of it out. A bit bent in the mud. It's worse things. She says Zabak's already complaining. How can you complain? I've literally been here, like, and you're complaining already. Thanks, Brain. 15 minutes and you're moaning already. So we've got 15 minutes till an ad break, so just to let you know. keep forgetting you can hear music and I can't. So I keep having to look up to see if the music's playing. Stick! Stick. Roll you up the side. There we go. A bit more space for the rest of us. Next bobbin pat. Yep. Make you slightly longer. What we can do is, instead of doing what I often do, which is get to kind of the end of this cloth line so that we can work all of that bit, I might take this down to the bottom so we're done with 5 pairs of bobbins, and then I can take all of these sunken pins out from here and free up quite a lot of bobbins. Got a lot of pushing in to do actually, so speaking of the pushing in section, I'm going to do that while I think about it, because it's easy. I won't say easy to forget, but it is. What I don't want to do is, this one's just at the wrong distance from my glasses. It's here, and it's kind of mated with friends. Where's a pokey stick? I need to separate you from my friends. It's like surgery. There you go. I need to separate you and push you down. There you go. It's just when I'm slightly ambidextrous. Right. Let's push some more pins down, because we need to push this side down to trap in all of the pins. You are a little bit further in. I didn't need to push you. I'd kind of done you, so you're fine. You're a bit short too. Although you're a funny shape. And in fact, yeah, you're flat. How weird. So, and then, because it's probably easier to turn it around this way for me, I'm going to turn it around and do the ones down the side here, because then they're nice in there. And you just bent in half. Well, congratulations to you. As I say, it's funny how you really don't put much weight on these things. I've seen someone the other day, it's almost the Uri Geller pin, in the sense of, you don't, Uri Geller used to bend spoons on TV, and I won't say we all used to wow and marvel at it, but, we all used to watch and kind of go, I wonder how he did that. Yeah, he obviously had stuff made out of these spoons, out of these pins, because these pins are, I was looking up, because obviously I needed to buy some more, I was looking up these pins, and these pins are supposed to be bend resistant. That's what it says on the website, that they are bend resistant. I could fart and bend these pins. It's seriously, if you look at them funny, they bend. I don't know how they declare them as, strengthened and bend resistant. What the hell were they like before? Goodness, it is quite a scary monstrosity that these are the improved pins, but these are the pins that I picked, and so for the rest of the project we will be using these nasty little pins. We may then chuck them all in the bin, but please note, these are not cheap pins. Surprisingly, pins are not cheap in general. How many grams of pin did we get? I don't think it actually says. 400 pins are £9. That's kind of, yeah, 2p a pin. I mean, I know it's not a lot of money, but like everything, 2 odd p a mint. I mean, it's, you know, it adds up. Thank you, Doc. It does add up. It's not a good thing. It is. Dogs are asleep now because they got bellies full of food. Because I gave them their food and then I gave them a bit of chip, a bit of sausage and a bit of onion ring. And before anyone says, yes, I know onions are bad for dogs. All my dogs love onions, so it's kind of hard. But one tiny bit of onion ring, why doesn't hurt them? I wouldn't want them to eat much, but I wouldn't let them not have one just because. There are things that I won't let them have. Chocolate, for example, because it's got xylitol in it, and that's really poisonous. Eating mushrooms in the field, that's another one, because A, you don't know what's been on the mushroom, or more accurate, who's been on the mushroom, because of course someone else may have toileted on said mushroom. So we don't eat mushrooms in the field, no matter how yummy they might look. Yeah, have you tried explaining that to a dog? Have you tried explaining that that yummy mushroom that wasn't there yesterday is not, you know, up for dinner? And that you don't fancy kind of spending £300 having their stomach pumped? Thanks. Yeah, I'm not so sure how accurate the viewer count on this, on the stream manager tab is. Never mind. I know what we didn't do. We didn't pass our message. So, got that going. I keep forgetting to do that. Must be an easier way of doing that, actually. I'll have to look that up. I know I can post the message automatically. I'll say you feel fat, but then you're 2 pins. So there you go. Snap. Must be a way to pin it as well. I wonder if you can pin and post at the same time, because that would be useful. I still haven't quite got used to the fact that the camera makes sounds a little bit like a fly. Well, hell, that's right, that hole. There you are. Oh look, ads are about to start. Of course they are. It's a hard life being a dog. I may have to do a quick AFK actually. See if I can time it with the ads. Got 90 seconds, but I need to put a stick around you. So let's do the stick. There we go. Stick. Stick of bobbins. Room. Here we go. Oh, we've got a minute. Oh, for goodness sake. No, I need to go. I shall be back in a second. I'm back and the adverts are about to start. Never mind. Very poor timing. But, well, I needed to go. It was not a choice. Let's do a bit more then. Because once again, it's the ads starting soon. Well, they should have started about a minute ago, so... There they go. think it's because I'm such a small kind of fish that they almost don't know what ads to give me, because, well, finally we have to flip you, which is now tangled, because a couple of you have escaped because you're naughty. So let's have a look, see if we can't sort some of these out. Round a pin or two. Okay, so you are friends with you. You are friends with you, perhaps, yes. You two should be friends. And you two and you two? No. You and you. So we need you. Right. Twist, don't forget the twist. Big stinking pile of bobbins over there. Talk about anxiety. Right. 3, 4. Welcome back, everybody. See, I'm not so convinced about the viewer count. Reason being is, I swear for the last stream it didn't go over 2 people, and yet the summary said it was 6 at one point, so I have no idea how many people I'm talking to. I assume very few, that's probably a safe assumption, but at the same time, I don't want you to feel like I don't appreciate you, but I can't, you know, like everything, if I don't know you're there, I can't really do much about it, can I? So, anyway, we're getting there. 2 more for that. Next pair. Make sure it looks twisted, and twisted the right way, which is easier said than done. So, we shall see. 3 more pairs of bobbins to go. And of course I've emptied my pins into this tin thinking that this is a great plan. And there's always the part of me going, are you sure about that? So we shall see when we get there, I guess. Got a few more pins to go, don't worry. We shall see how the tin works for pin extraction. I mean, obviously an awful lot of lace makers use pin cushions. But in my mind, because I take a lot of the pins out in kind of clumps, can't really put them in the pin cushion in clumps because then you can't separate them one by one to get them out. But if I did put them in the pin cushion, I've got to spend hours putting them in the pin cushion. So I'd rather get them out of the pot if I can, but at the same time the pot has its own shenanigans, of course, which involves stabbing of fingers, getting them under your nails, and other such pleasantries. So I don't know. I don't know which fate is worse. Spending hours trying to stab them in a pin cushion so that you can pick up one by one later, which is easier said than done. 2, 3, 4. Or stabbing your fingers a lot and regretting your life choices. Are you sure you're together? No, you're not. See, it was just as well I checked. You two are together. Bobbins. Bobbins and dogs. Far too stressful. Sounds like a fly. Yeah. But it's definitely the camera. For I have checked. Other than that, there is a fly in the camera. One or the other. I don't think there's a fly in the camera. It'd be dead by now. Apparently flies only live a really short period of time. I'm not convinced by that, but I think they live longer than we think. Because if you ever have one in the house, it's not gone by tomorrow. You don't find it on the floor tomorrow. It seems to be around a good few days, yet they tell you it's only 24 hours, so I'm not convinced. Last row of bobbins, don't you dare uncross and screw it up. Right, twist. pins left in the pincushion, so I was right to worry in a way. See. Right. So, for example, you can just about make out there's only, what, 20 pins left in the pincushion? So, I was kind of right. Now, so we have done with you, we kind of need you, but the 5 of you go on a stick. Stick! So you are done. Now what we can do, before we actually put you over there, is move you round slightly, peel back you, and we see more of our square in glory. Go square! Go square. And now we find a pot. There's a pot. And we extract all the extra bins from down this side. Can't pick on that. Let's turn you around a little bit then. Turn you around to here, I think. Take glasses off for this section. Another good reason to have text to speech, because I can't see crap without my glasses. Make sure we don't pull up the wrong ones. So this is the row that I want. You, my friend, need to stay down, and so do you. So grabbing some pin. It's easier once you've got a bit of a line going to see where you're at and grab all the pins. Amazing how, because they're really thin, they also stick to your fingers. Which I don't need you to stay in, because you can come out too, but we'll do you once we've done the side, I think. Move. Getting close enough is a challenge when one has boobage. Hard to do these things when you're with a nazi. Once these are all out, I know then you probably likely discover 8,000 issues, but what I can do is, like I did before, is press the tops down a bit more with my finger to help them blend a little bit. Nearly crunch actually when I do that. It's a bit weird considering there's nothing for them to crunch on, but not like this sawdust or walnut shells or anything in there. Just a bit of styrofoam after all. As I say, this is usually when you start spotting the mistakes, because you pull the pins out and go, oh, where's that bit? What happened there? Why is that wrong? So, is it perfect? Probably not. In fact, this one's got a mistake in it. I don't know quite how it's got a mistake in it, but it's kind of got a mistake in it. I'm going back that far now. It's another freaking triangle. I'm going back that far. And in case you're wondering what the mistake is, sticker poking. I don't know, to put my glasses on, I can't see what you see enough for that. Sticker poking. So, where am I? It's here. If I, as you can possibly see, this rose ground kind of doesn't have a hole in the middle. Well, it does. It's just a really little hole in the middle. So I'm not quite sure what's going on then. Because it's not like I completely stuffed it up. But at the same time, there's not much of a hole in the middle. See, that doesn't look so bad though. See? Sometimes you can forget a little bit. It's not necessarily wrong. As I said, it kind of doesn't look like it should be wrong. And how these pop up, I really never understand. But you go around and you find some really popped up. As I say, they make a kind of pop when you put them down, a bit like a bubble wrap on a very small scale. For some reason I've got a tune in my head. It's kind of a TikTok thing. I say it's a TikTok thing. It's a video short. I'm not going to sing it for you because you don't need that in your life. But it's a song about millennials. I have nothing against millennials, to be on a general rule, don't get me wrong. But it did make me laugh because it's like he sits in a coffee shop with his man bun. He has no job, but he thinks by 30 he'll be a millionaire, you know. And for some reason, that's kind of going round in my head. I'm not quite sure why, but, you know, we all get the earworm. And sometimes it's really annoying songs that get you the earworm, like Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, which is a song I avidly dislike, just because Timmy Mallet did it. And it was far too popular for something that was so awful. But there's been plenty of those. The Tweets and the Bird Song. Did you know the Tweets and the Bird Song? If you take the Oompa Loompa songs from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you can make it fit to the Tweets and the Bird Song, to the point that the Veruca Salt one actually fits perfectly to the note. Don't ask how I know that. It's how I remember the Oompa Loompa songs, more to the point, because we did them in a school play. And my teacher worked this out. He was obviously somewhat of an insomniac, because clearly he worked that out. And I hadn't heard the Tweets Birdie song. But that's how that went. Bit of Chaz and Dave, then that was always good for a bit of a kind of earworm scenario. Doesn't mean it was any good, it just got in your head. There's usually a song each year that kind of gets in your head and won't come out. And sometimes they're good songs. Mostly they're not great songs, but they go in and, well, they don't come out very well. It's a bit like a stain in your clothes. It doesn't always come out quite the way you hoped. Fly away pin. Pokey poke, holy hole. What have you done with these? aren't I putting them in my pin part list? Because they're the old, potentially bent ones, and the new ones are new, shiny, straight ones. So we can now push more of these down, because, well, that's a thing. That's you. Now we can start picking you out, because you are also no longer subject to requirements, and as long as I have all of the edges down, I can fairly freely pick at little tufts of pins that have grouped themselves together and that wish to be friends. So that's not a bad thing. Obviously we don't want to go too far, which, I mean, to be honest, don't go a lot further than I'm intending to. You only need 3 or 4 lines, apparently, but I just find it easier to go by chunks, the same chunks that we make them in, to be honest, because it just seems logical. Out! You have mated with your friends. Come on, out. Thank you. Come stab in my finger. You enjoy that. Go on, out. Yeah. We will take you, and we will take you two. There you go. Leave everybody else for now. We will push these all down to try and make sure that as little as possible can catch on them. Hence using the finger, so just feeling if any of them are kind of sticky up and rough. The answer is more than you like to know, but for some reason they kind of work their way out, I think. But you get odd random bits of thread stuck on them. There we go. Time for glasses again. See, it's, you know, I know it's not exactly, you know, amazing, but it's getting there. We've got, you know, we've got a chunk of triangle. This pillow's so not level. In fact, let me take a picture of it while I have it bare naked, because obviously it is a sight. Thank you, Caroline. It's like everything is to the creator. You see many of the errors of your ways. I'm not displeased with it. Do not get me wrong. I'm definitely not displeased with it. And to be fair, once it's off and it's doing its thing and it's with some friends, hopefully some of the minor imperfections that I can kind of go, oh, look, there's a thing. Oh, look, there's another thing. You know, because I will probably never be quite this upfront and close and personal with it at this kind of level. Unless it's a really glaring hole or something, chances are I probably won't actually see it. And in fact, I'll probably walk past it a lot and not even look at it. So we need to be realistic that A, there are mistakes, because of course there are mistakes. And some of the mistakes are more obvious than others. But we're not intentionally leaving any known mistakes. Depending on how far back they are, they will get fixed. If they are, so if I got, like I know it's turned around at a funny angle at the moment, but obviously I'm down here, I've just done this bit down here. But if I spotted back up here that I'd done something wrong, and it was colossal, I'd go back and fix it. If it was, I forgot to cross a pair of bobbins, right? Probably not. If it, you know, it depends on how bad it is, but I am feeling fairly pleased with myself. I know that I have, well, 17 and, well, I don't know, it's not quarter, plus about half of that, so, you know, 17 and 3, well, it's not 3/4, it'll be 3/8 of triangles to go. So I've got a lot of triangles because I'm going to need 17 of these wretched things. But it is... Did I actually take a picture of that? I did, didn't I? Please tell me I did. Please tell me I did actually take a picture of that. No, I didn't. I'm a dumbass. Let me turn it around and take the picture. I was going to, and I really thought I had, but for some reason, I didn't actually do it. I picked up my phone and then didn't do it. What a prat. What a prat. So, let's have a bit of a picture. Because, well, it's a thing. There we go. Bit of a picture. Chance of a lifetime to, before I cover it all back up again, to keep it safe underneath all of that so I don't accidentally ruck it up. I mean, technically I shouldn't be able to because it is pinned down, but I'd rather not take chances and put a cloth down. So, yes, that's the plan. So, here we go. Cloth down. Turny, turn, turn. Right, we are done with you. We will not be using you until the next triangle. Feel free to sod off and die somewhere. Can't fold you over because, well, I can't. So you will just have to scroll round the corner and keep out of it, really. What's next? Cloth stitch. Right. So we will move you round because, well, you can go out the way for a minute. And then we extract some of you. Because we don't need you right now. We don't need you right now, but you will be next. We do, however, need you for this endeavour. So you can come a bit more here. And you for this endeavour. Now, you're tangled up a bit. Thank you for that. And possibly... No, it's not possibly you. We are good. So we need 5 of you, and to remove a stick. 2, 3, 4, 5. We will undo you, although I'm not sure that's the wisest of things to be doing right now. But we will push you round a bit more so that we can scoot you along a little more. So, right. Now, see where we're at. You come out, so you're already dealt with and need to leave the party. You are crossed, so you can stop that. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are not going to rely on counting of the cut. We're going to rely on the counting and believe in ourselves. We are not going to refer to the magic picture of doom and get confused and fight over how many pairs of bobbins we should have at every opportunity. And I have a little bit of a mental issue with the fact that technically all the cloth stitch bits are 5 bobbins. But, so for example, this pair of bobbins, once I put the pin in, I work these 2 and now need to discard them. So there were actually 6 pairs of bobbins. When I get to this corner, there were no extra bobbins to add. So I now come back and do a pin on this side and lose another pair of bobbins. Well, now I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of bobbins till I get to this side and add one, at which point there becomes 5. So it's very easy to lose track because although there's 5, at some points there's 4, at some points there's 6, at one point there's possibly even 7, and it depends on whether you're counting as you put the pin in, before you put the pin in, after you've put the pin in, maybe a bit of both, because sometimes you add one and remove one. And so at a corner, for example, like this one, it would have come in and gone straight out again, and your brain just kind of goes, I thought there were 5 and you've got 4. Oh, this must be wrong. Well, it's not wrong. And then you get to 6 and you're going, am I supposed to have 6? So I spent a lot of time the other week making, drawing out the zigzag and counting and even putting in notation of add 1 pin equals how many you should have, -1, now how many you should have. And so that no matter how challenged my brain cells are feeling that day, I am in a position to know exactly how many bobbins should be at any one point in time. So we are going to lengthen you slightly, because you are the working pair, and we will head back across the row and bin. And check that is the right hole. That is the right hole. Will you stop tilting slightly? It's really annoying. But that's a bit much. There you go. And you two get to leave the party. Snug. No, that wasn't an invitation. Because it's a bit at this point when you've only got 3, and you know, because here, if I do this with this one, there's only the 3 passive pairs and a working pair, and it looks too few. Well, it's because I haven't added one yet. It is too easy to go wrong at this point and contradict yourself, panic, forget to do things. And so I definitely do struggle with, not with the actual stitch or how it should look or anything like that. I just constantly tell myself I've got it wrong. I must be wrong. I must be wrong. I must be wrong. And I'm not always. Mostly I am. Mostly I am wrong, but not always. Sometimes I'm actually right. And of course, pins love to mate. They love to tangle with everything. See, going down this direction, which is left to right, you end up with 4 passive pairs going across on the fat direction, and on the thin direction you have 1 less. Going the other way, you have 5 passive pairs on the fat one, and so you have more bobbins, and hence you get really confused because your brain's going, I thought I had 6 before. Well, you did have 6 before, but you were going in another direction, and so you were adding before you move, not adding after you move, which is generally how it's boiled down to what's actually wrong with it. But it is too easy to get wrong is the short answer to that. Far too easy to, and then of course you spend your time going, I must be wrong on the few times you're actually right. So, and this one's really bent now. You can go away. Don't mind you being slightly bent, but that was a bit too bent. And of course, this is the other problem. I didn't wind enough thread on some of them. Partly because, of course, idiot here did not take into account the cloth stitched ones, or rather did not wind more on the ones she knew was going to be cloth stitch ones, because, well, that would be sensible now, wouldn't it, Liz? So let me wind your body. What's that one? Wind your body. Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember what song that's from. My brain does that. It thinks of like one sentence from a song and then won't tell me what the rest of it is, which gets annoying. So, one of those. Snippety snippety. You, I'm going to put round this side, and you can trail off into the distance. I need a pin. Actually, need a pin, and I need a pin I can grab later. So let me tie a knot in the end of this, because this is my lazy way of doing this. This is not the traditional way our lace makers would do this. I tie a little bit of a knot, and I'm going to get a fat pin, and I'm going to put it over here, out the way, so, and let the knot pull tight, so that now it is firmly rooted. I can bring it down through the middle, and I want it to go round the right pin. I'll wind this up a bit. Misjudged that slightly. So wind that up a bit more. And a little trunk load more than that. Clearly didn't get this right. That's a bit better. So I need you to go, see, round there. Yeah, round that pin. That's a good pin. You can start there. Yeah. That's a good pin. So, you and your friend now hang on. I feel like I cocked this up already. You and your friend. So, let me push you a bit more out the way, because I need the space. 3, 4. Bin. Now, I need to make sure I've given you a good tug, you a bit of a tug. There you go. You come out, you come in, joining is a bit like joining in knitting, really, where you kind of start a new chunk and kind of hope, really. You don't tie knots in it and you trim it off later and pray that it doesn't all fall apart. Something I'm not overly comfortable with, do need to say that. Some of the more voodoo side of lace making and the belief of it not falling apart is not a religion I have subscribed to yet. I challenge the ethos of some of it, in that it feels just not quite right. Because life's never that simple, you know? In my case, it all falls apart, usually. You know, it's kind of how I feel that it will go. And so I want a little bit more sturdy belt and braces for that. The just believe it's not quite enough, you know. I do not have the faith, is the phrase. See, this looks far more open, because of course it is. Use the pokey stick to poke the lace down to the bottom so that it's at the right tension. Obviously it's got a... There's more than 5 there, so we will deal with you. Now I know I haven't got a bobbin for you, so let's put that over there, you over there. Come back and count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stick! I really need some form of animation of a stick. Possibly from Badger Badger Badger, if you've ever seen that. I have a bit of an obsession with Badger Badger. Just because it reminds me of my dad. Not that my dad ever saw it, I don't think, but it reminds me of my dad. Don't need to pin yet, I need another bobbin, idiot. Collect more bobbin. I need a pair of bobbins. And it should be you. Where did I put that bobbin pin? There it is. Bin. You're bent and all, go away. Kind of fancy watching a film tonight. That could be a thing. Mind you, it's also 10:15 now, so funny how time flies. You'll need to be replaced shortly. Co-worker pings. We are like a married couple, it's quite funny. His wife's really nice though. Right. I would put it on Do Not Disturb. The only problem is he gets priority on Do Not Disturb because we do on call, so won't shut up. Shut anyone else up though. Well, nearly everybody else. Guess he's still seething from this morning's meeting. Yawns again. What's going to stick. Stickity stick. Push you up there. This stick. Bin. Pokey stick time. Peggy. Mr. Paws, there are 2 chairs and 2 other seats on the couch. Do you really have to sit on the same one as me? My butt is a little large for me to be getting such a small proportion of the chair. Free dog, anybody? I wouldn't part with him. Well, there are times, but I wouldn't part with him. He is my pup, and I loves him most of the time. Except for all the times when I don't. Someone was asking after my dogs today, and I sent them a picture, and I've got a beautiful picture of them asleep. Is it actually the dog one? Hang on. That one. And I sent them that, and I said, this is my dogs when they're asleep. This is when they are beautiful. This is when they are innocent, lovely, and exceptionally well behaved. Rest of the time, not so much. And I do love him and her very much. Especially when they're asleep. Will you stop tilting? It's funny how it really easily tilts one direction and not the other. And it's on as tight as it could go, as far as I remember. Where's the magic thing of... Like that's a little... No, see that? Barely lent on it and it went flying. But it doesn't go back quite as easy as it goes down. Yeah, do the whole stitch, Liz. Do the whole stitch, not just a bit of it. Here we go. And we're in the corner. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We shall stick. And kind of roll you around the edges and kind of push you up out the way, because well, the further around you go, the better, the more out the way you are. You two can hide under there. Extract you from all the pins that you're caught on. Come on. Out of there. Extract you up there. Then... see. It's you I want next, I think. thinks it is. I thought I still had the cloth stitch bits to do across here, but look, but of course I did it. So now it is rose ground time. Time for me to not try and forget corners. Or pins. Which I'm very good at doing. I can always watch a film after. Right. Fridays are nights I tend to stay up. I tend to stay up till the video posts anyway. But because I'm like that, I want to make sure that it all went up. But so twisty, stitchty, stitchty, stitch. I can't trap on the pins. And twistity, stitchty, stitchty, stitch. That's right, my foot's gone to sleep because it was at a funny angle. Wait for the blood to come back and then the owl section of the returning to life ability. Got a few more bits to go. And then all the ones that we rescued out of the work. So we're doing alright. We're doing alright for now. If all these things didn't take so many pins, you could get so much more done. But of course our ancestors worked out that the pins mean that it holds its position and just doesn't turn up into a mega screwed up knot. So, the pins are somewhat essential. It's like one of those anti-gravity table things where you have, you know, a couple of bits of string pulling down the, you know, pulling down the top, and at the same time the top's attached to the bottom with another bit of string, and they're not in one piece, but somehow it kind of counter pulls each other, and so it all kind of works out in the wash. Bobbin pins kind of achieve the same kind of deal. Don't want to work across. I think I do want to work across actually. So I'm going to put all of you over there. That means you're also done. And I need you and you. And not to be stuck behind a pin. You're good for the moment. Cross. Stitchy stitch. Should come up a little bit. There you go. You kind of do have to wonder how some of these things came about. I mean, spinning is kind of obvious. The moment the wheel was formed, most spinning was made easier into having a wheel that goes round and round and round and round with a lot less effort to keep the spin going in, and all you have to do is kind of feed it in and have something for it to feed onto. But you can kind of see how that grew into being. Looms, you can see how looms came into being. They wanted to make it go under, over, under, over, under, over, so they made, you know, a couple of shafts, and then someone went fancier and said, I want to be able to do funky patterns, and so they did funky patterns because they now had 4 shafts, and then someone went, I see your 4 shafts and I want to do more funky patterns, so they had 8 shafts. It would repeat and repeat and repeat until basically, you know, and then of course there was the, hey, I want to be able to do pictures, so I need a jacquard loom and I need to be able to control every single thread individually, kind of thing, and well, they were born, and so you can see how that happened. And kind of knitting and crochet, Knitting kind of makes a bit more sense than others, although crochet can be arguably done with your hands on a larger scale, obviously. That's, you know, effectively arm knitting without keeping the loops on your arm is crochet, and so people would have made nets kind of in a similar way. Put your hand through, grab a loop, put your hand through, grab a loop, and then grab, you know, chain a couple, put your hand through, grab a loop, chain, you know, repeat. Maybe wind it around your arm a little bit. So I can see crochet turning into a thing. But I'm not quite sure how lace making came into being. Because obviously, bobbins are not natural. Nor arguably are lots of little pinholes and pins. And nor is stupidly fine threads. Now obviously it was a rich person thing. But somewhere, somehow, someone obviously sat down and tangled some string in an eloquent manner. And kind of, this is what they came up with. So, it does make you wonder though, how it kind of happened. It's the same as things like, I can see that. It does make sense to me too. But at the same time, having hundreds of bobbins, I mean, we've all seen the pictures that frankly terrify the crap out of me. I mean, this is under 100 bobbins. Not a lot under 100 bobbins, but this is just under 100 bobbins. And dealing with this many bobbins gives me significant anxiety, especially when the dog knocks it off and tangles them all. But braiding techniques, I mean, obviously plaits and all that kind of thing, obviously you start there, but that's 3. Bobbins nearly are always pairs, or some people, some countries refer to a pair as a bobbin, just to really confuse matters. But I mean, an element of braiding technique, or did an element of things like hair braiding come from lace making and net making? Was it something that kind of almost went the other way round, in that they realised they could do, you know, 4 brand plaits from, because they did lace making and knew how to twist them to do it. Because obviously you had to have a fine spinner just to even make the yarn to do this with. Oh look, of course, 3 minutes of ads. This doesn't feel quite right for some reason. I think it's just the angle. Get off. No, stop mating with the pins. You're nowhere near them. This is when it gets a bit busy. I think I need to stick. Sticks would be good, even if it is a lot of sticking and unsticking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stick! Stick you. Doesn't have to be perfect. We can untangle you if necessary. Come on. It's the hole. Where's the wretched hole? There it is. So let's try and keep you down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Mostly don't want you, so you can kind of go over there. So that gives me a bit more space. Now I need 4 more of you. So there's 2. And there's 4. Hopefully. 2, 2, you're stuck around there. Here you go. This is beginning to come apart, like some of the others. Right. So, stick. Pot pins. End of the hats. Welcome back, peoples. Is Friday night. So, unstick you. And I need 2 more. So I need to be careful here because I need to make sure I did the right thing. And I've got a feeling I didn't go quite far enough. No, I did, it just doesn't look like it because you 2 come out and you 2 make that, you go on top of that, you get to go all the way around there and I pretend I never saw you. So, you are the last 2 on this side. Keep out of it. So, we have achieved 1 row. Now, I feel a need. Now, question is, what do I do? Do I stop now? Watch some crap TV, go to bed, get up earlier than normal because I went to bed earlier than normal? Or do I keep going, stay up really stupidly late as I usually do, get up stupidly late as I usually do, waste most of the day because I spent most of it in bed. Now I think maybe common sense should win the day today. So I am going to leave it at this. I'm going to take an updated cover photo for where we're at, pull a few threads down so that we can see what's going on. We shall do a bit of that. Got mails, texts to answer from co-workers. Snappity snap. So, I'm going to cover up with the many cloths of covering. So we're going to put that on there. Then my nice heavy cloths to weigh down the more free bobbins. I'm free! And my brown cloth of plainness, so that everybody's all neatly tucked into bed. It's been a bit shorter, but we still did a bit more, and well, that is the point. I'd rather do a bit than nothing. So it's been good to talk to you all, and I hope to see you all again tomorrow.